The CEO's secret shift. Nobody at Parker Logistics knew. The new warehouse worker was actually their CEO. His name was Daniel Parker. He owned one of the fastest-growing delivery companies in America. On paper, everything looked perfect. Managers reported high productivity. Supervisors claimed employees were working hard. But customer complaints kept increasing. Late deliveries, damaged packages, wrong orders. Daniel knew someone wasn't telling him the truth. So one Monday morning, he left his expensive suit at home, removed his luxury watch, put on a simple blue uniform, and a name badge that said, Dan. Then he walked into his own warehouse as a new employee. Nobody recognized him. Within hours, Daniel discovered the truth. Some employees spent more time on their phones than working. Others took long breaks. And whenever a supervisor appeared, everyone suddenly worked faster. Daniel said nothing. He simply watched. Then he noticed a young woman at the packing station. Her name was Grace. She was 23. Her uniform looked old. Her shoes were worn. And every day, she brought the same simple sandwich for lunch. Grace lived with her mother and younger brother in a small apartment. Every paycheck helped pay the rent. Money was always tight. But Grace never complained. She arrived early, checked every package twice, replaced damaged boxes, fixed incorrect labels, and when other workers fell behind, Grace helped them. One afternoon, several employees laughed at her. Look at Grace. She works like she owns the company. Another worker laughed. Why work so hard? We all get paid by the hour. Grace heard them, but kept working. Daniel walked over. Why do you work harder than everyone else? Grace smiled. My name is on my work. Daniel looked confused. Grace continued. Customers may never see my face. They may never know my name. But when they open a package I prepared, my work speaks for me. Daniel became silent. For the next 5 days, he watched Grace carefully. When managers were watching, she worked hard. When managers left, she worked hard. And when nobody was watching, Grace worked even harder. Then Friday afternoon, disaster struck. A huge shipment had to leave before 5 p.m., but 1 hour before the deadline. The labeling machine stopped. Workers panicked. The supervisor shouted, "It's impossible! We'll never finish." But Grace didn't panic. She grabbed a stack of shipping labels. We'll check them manually. Some employees laughed, but Grace started working. Daniel joined her. Then another worker. Then another. Within minutes, Grace had organized the entire packing line. She checked labels, directed workers, fixed mistakes, and refused to stop. At exactly 4:58 p.m., the final package was loaded onto the truck. The doors closed. The shipment left on time. Everyone cheered. But Daniel had seen everything. The following Monday, every employee received an email. Mandatory company meeting. Hundreds of workers gathered inside the warehouse. Grace stood quietly near the back. Then the company president walked onto the stage. Please welcome our CEO, Mr. Daniel Parker. Grace looked toward the stage and froze. The new worker, named Dan, walked out wearing an expensive navy suit. The warehouse fell silent. Some employees couldn't believe their eyes. Daniel approached the microphone. For the past week, I've been working beside you. I saw people who worked hard only when supervisors were watching. Several employees lowered their heads. But Daniel continued. I also saw someone who worked differently. He looked toward Grace. Grace, please come forward. Grace slowly walked onto the stage. Her hands were shaking. Daniel handed her a golden plaque, Employee of the Year. The warehouse erupted with applause. Then Daniel handed her an envelope. Inside was a $25,000 bonus. Grace covered her mouth. Tears filled her eyes. But Daniel wasn't finished. Starting today, Grace is our new quality control supervisor. The same employees who laughed at her were now standing and applauding. Grace whispered, "Why me?" Daniel smiled. "Because I can teach skills. I can teach leadership. But I cannot teach someone to care when nobody is watching." That evening, Grace returned home. She placed the bonus check in front of her mother. Her mother looked at the number and began crying. Grace hugged her. For the first time in years, they didn't have to worry about next month's rent. And back at Parker Logistics, employees stopped asking, "Is the boss watching?" Instead, they remembered Grace, the poor young woman with worn-out shoes, who worked like the company belonged to her. And one day, the company rewarded her, like it did. Moral: never lower your standards because nobody is watching. Your work speaks for you. And sometimes, the right person is listening.